where you have presidents for only 2 years, and all you hear is bomb blast.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So let's talk about the outrage that is going on at the moment from Nigerians across the spectrum. Um, Godswill Akpabio was at the opening of the NRS, and he had a whole lot to say. Let's take a listen, and I'll break down exactly what he was saying for us to be able to get a context of what he was talking about, and to make sense of everything that he has said so far. Without much further ado, let's get into it.
Executive chairman said he believes in data. The data in Lagos cannot lie. And so Nigerians believe me, and believe you, and believe all of us, and you are elected. To God be the glory. Today, Mr. President, you have sent me to go and commission many projects in states of the Federation. And one of the ones that we first commissioned was the lithium factory.
He said the president has sent him to go and commission a whole lot of projects. And the question a whole lot of people should be asking is this: what has been the effect of the project commission so far? He said a lot of project has been completed. How many of those projects do we see? The only ones that they are talking about is the coastal road, and the coastal road is yet to be completed. There is even a whole lot of controversy surrounding it. Apart from that, the supposed completed project, how does it affect the life of Nigerians? Is it creating more jobs? Is it bringing more revenue for the country? So what project is it talking about? Is it trying to say that the president has met his obligation when it comes to project? Let's continue to listen.
In Nasarawa State, that had always been there, and the governor has assured me that he has even completed a much you have this vision. I used to pass this place, and I saw the dilapidated structure here. I never knew that it was going to be the structure of NRS. And there are so many others across the country, and we don't know what the structures were meant for until you brought your fiscal engineer, Dr. Zach, and then working with you. Look at what we have here today. I just want Nigerians to use this as a test case of what you have been doing and what you can do for the future.
Well, he's saying the building is a test case of what the president has been able to do for Nigeria and what he has been able to do for the future. The big question is this: the poverty rate at the moment is about 63% of the population. Is he saying that the president is going to do more in terms of impoverishing Nigerians? Is that what he's trying to say?
Mr. President, there are countries where you have presidents for only 2 years, and all you hear is bomb blast.
Well, he's talking about security right now. He said there are countries where the president will be there for 2 years, and what you hear is bomb blast. I think Akpabio seems not to be living in Nigeria. The security situation in the last 3 years has deteriorated. Killings every week. He's talking about bomb blasts. There were some couple of bomb blasts in Borno State, and nothing has happened to that. Brigadier generals are being killed for fun, and he's saying there are countries whereby you'll be there for 2 years and you'll be seeing bomb blasts, as if we are not experiencing serious challenges when it comes to security. The people that were killed in Kwara State, what happened to them? The children that were kidnapped in Niger State, what happened to them? Those kidnapped in Katsina, Zamfara. Every week there is news about insecurity, and it's talking about practically saying the country has been a bit peaceful under the president, but the result shows that that is not the case.
Everywhere. And the presidents are only 2 years old in office. In your own case, in less than 2-3 years, all we get is commissioning of projects and projects and projects and projects.
Okay, he's talking about commissioning of projects. Does If you commission a project and there is nobody to use it, is the project useful for anybody? If you are commissioning a project and there is insecurity, how do the populace enjoy the project? I remember the case of the train attack. How many people are confident enough to go on the train and use the train going towards Kaduna? There were a lot of people killed in that attack. Have they secured that position? Have they secured that location? Yet he's talking about completion of project when there is insecurity that will not allow people enjoy the so-called completion of project.
That shows the other person has the vision of the gun and the bullet. And you have the vision of what? Infrastructure and building a decade.
So, according to him, the other person has the vision of the bullet and the gun, while the president has the vision of completion of project. Is he trying to absorb the president of the blame, or is he trying to absorb the president from securing Nigerians? Is that not one of his responsibilities? Did the president not tweet about any government that cannot secure the country should be voted out? I mean, he did that in 2024 while he was not the president. So is project much more important than the human lives? Yes, projects are important. It's a sign that the country is growing. However, if there is no security, how do people enjoy the so-called project? Is the president not responsible for ensuring the safety of Nigerians? Is the president not responsible to ensure that no Nigerians are killed?
For our children in future. For this, I want to say. Now, why am I saying this? I felt so touched. I shouldn't have spoken at all when the executive chairman finished his speech. He encapsulated and embedded everything in my heart. He was able to capture the essence of governance. He was able to justify the confidence that Nigerians repose in you and continue to repose in you.
He said he was able to justify the confidence Nigeria reposed in the president. The big question is this: what confidence exactly? Is it in the high inflation that there is a lot of confusion amongst them? But a lot of people have accused the president of having a hand in the confusion. Case in point, the INEC chairman's tweet that he's going to talk about very shortly.
And they will come to blame you. If you were not that good, if your vision was not very clear, from day one you said tax, what do you call it, fuel subsidy is gone.
Well, he's saying Nigerians are blaming the president. Obviously, they will blame the president. He talks about the removal of fuel subsidy. The big question is this: in the last 8 years, how much loan did Tinubu, the Buhari administration collected? The current administration right now in 3 years, they've collected over 2 trillion loan. Yet subsidy has been removed. They are no longer paying subsidy. So the big question is this: where does the money from subsidy, where did it go? That we are still borrowing 200 million. I don't think what Akpabio is saying is factually correct.
On your first swearing in, and people carry their hands on their heads. I said, does this man know what he's talking? Entrenched corruption.
I think there's a lot of corruption still going on. If subsidy has been removed, and yet we are borrowing 200 trillion naira in 3 years. So where is the money gotten from subsidy? Where has it gone? The same current president at the moment led the protests against Jonathan when he wanted to remove fuel subsidy. At that particular point in time, petrol was 65 naira. He led the protest at Ojota saying fuel subsidy removal will kill Nigerians. Now he has removed subsidy and there's a 200 trillion naira loan that he has collected. How is he justifying that?
Nigeria was spending almost 90% to 93% of every revenue in fuel subsidy. You can't build something on nothing and expect it to stand. There was no money for infrastructure.
But even after the removal of fuel subsidy, we are not seeing the money. The Ministry of Health, for the implementation of 2025 budget, they came out to say they only gave them 36 million out of everything they have budgeted for. Where is all this money from subsidy? Where is it going? That's the big question Akpabio is not answering.
Nigeria will go and budget 80 to 85% on debt servicing, remaining only 15%, and they expect miracles. So I'm sitting down there as Senate President and Chairman of the National Assembly, I cannot be more proud that yes, we contributed to what we are saying here today.
I'm proud, yes, proud in terms of the building, the NRS building that was erected, but you cannot say you are proud of the numerous failures in insecurity. It's not being able to arrest the high inflation. Even the Nigerians are not being lifted out of poverty. Is he saying he's proud of the sufferings of Nigerians?
You are seeing insecurity today. It is even increasing because the election is coming. As soon as the election is over, watch out. The first 2 weeks, you will not hear any single bomb blast.
So he's saying the president is powerless. He cannot curb insecurity. Insecurity is increasing because elections is very close. Does that mean that the president is powerless? What happens to, why is the president not fishing out those responsible for terrorism and doing justice to them? Why is it that under his watch, our gallant soldiers are being killed, especially the high-ranking officials? In the last 6 7 months, about 2 3 brigadier generals has been killed, and we have not seen any significant improvement in the security of Nigeria. So is he saying the president is clueless or is powerless to arrest the situation?
Because people are sponsoring it to distract you.
If people, according to him, if people are sponsoring insecurity and terrorism, is it not the job of the federal government to ensure that the sponsors of terrorism are brought to book? I thought they released some names. Why are they not prosecuting those people that they released their name as people sponsoring terrorism? What have they done in terms of fishing out the sponsors? So is he saying that the president cannot, with all the state apparatus, cannot fish out the sponsors, cannot get the sponsors and bring them to book?
They don't know what else to do. They said this man is too good in many areas. If the governors are attracted to him because he's taking very good care of the states. He came in with less than 18 governors. Today he has almost 32 governors under his fold.
Okay, so the APC, yes, is very correct there. The APC has about 32 governors at the moment. But however, if you look at the body language of the APC, it seems they are afraid of opposition. If you have 32 governors, why are you worried about the opposition? Because, earlier in his speech, he was throwing jabs at the opposition, saying they are confused, they don't know what they are doing, and the rest of that. And that shows that there is a bit of jittery in the camp of the APC. So I don't think his assertion is correct. In this country, we saw when PDP had about 26, 27, governors. At the moment, the PDP could barely even hold the state. So the same thing could happen to the APC. I don't think if I were in his shoes, I would be boasting with what Nigerians are seeing at the moment. What they are seeing at the moment might ginger their anger to vote out the APC.
Out of 36. So where do we belong? How do you win election when you don't have the structure? No political party today is stable in this country. Then they changed and said, okay, let us attack the people going to do the election. And they brought out a tweet where they said, the chairman of INEC said, victory is sure. But he didn't say victory is sure for APC.
Well, the Senate president is defending the INEC chairman. If you are supposed to be an unbiased umpire, you should not have a record of showing bias towards the ruling party. He's referring to that particular tweet where it was alleged that the INEC chairman was responding based on the tweet. He was responding to the national youth leader of the APC. And if the national youth leader is talking about delivering his polling unit for the APC, and the INEC chairman is responding with victory is sure, does that not show that the INEC chairman is supporting the APC?
He did not say victory is sure for PDP. He just said victory is sure. And the man said that it's manipulated. Nobody wants to hear. But for me,
Well, he's saying the account man is manipulated, that the post is manipulated. But the question is a whole lot of people on X, they've alleged that based on their own findings on X, that the account was created in 2022 with, the INEX chairman's picture and the number of times he has, changed the name. Also, the phone number and the email address that he was using that is tied to him based on his CV has gotten from the University of Jos shows his email address and his number. So what is Akpabio trying to say?
whether manipulated or not, he said victory is sure. He was not chairman of INEC, he was just a mere lecturer.
Okay, so yes, it's correct. He was not an INEC of chairman at that particular point in time. Yes, he's a Nigerian, he can comment on whatever. However, he's currently an INEC chairman with an history of bias towards the APC. Would that not call his integrity into question? Also, remember, he was the one that went ahead to delete the names of the chairman of the leadership of the ADC from the portal and putting ADC in admin mode. And, other court judgments, as this was going on, there were court judgments that came out from the court saying chairman dispute is an internal issue and it does not concern the court. That the factions involved should sort out their issue, at home, and they should not bring it to court. They should sort out their issue internally and not bring that case to court. That the court does not have a jurisdiction based on the rulings. So, if there has been a tweet of the current INEC chairman supporting the APC, does that not call its integrity into question? Suddenly, INEC went ahead to delete the names of the chairman of ADC. According to a report, according to the interview he had on Arise TV, the chairman said they are simply following court order. So you are following court order. However, there has been history of you supporting the APC. That does not make any sense. That calls your integrity into question.
Anybody can support anybody who wishes to. But when you are on a seat, you have to think of all the entire country and all the populace, and that's what they are doing. I want to just let you know, there is not only in the area of revenue and taxation that you are doing well.
Want to create an online store but not sure what to do next? With Managed WooCommerce Hosting from Hostinger, you can scale.
The infrastructure in the FCT is not handled by APC. It is handled by the national chairman of a fraction,
He's throwing shots at the PDP. Wike, as the minister of the FCT, as we all know, is a member of the PDP, but is an integral part of the APC government. He's alluding the development in the FCT to Wike, who is in the opposition party that works for the APC. As far as I'm concerned, I think Wike is an APC member, but he's an APC member physically, but by heart, he doesn't want to let go of the control of the PDP, and that's the reason why you have Wike working for APC while he's still in the PDP. So how does that even work? Is Wike going to work against somebody against his principal in the next election? That is not possible. Even that itself calls the integrity of Wike into question. How can you be working against your own party, against the opposition? How can you be working against your own party for the opposition? How does the PDP with the Wike faction, which is the authentic PDP, how do they want to, how do they want to be a strong opposition to the APC? That does not work. Practically, the PDP is dead, meaning that a lot of people that have alleged that the president had a hand in, in the disruptions we are seeing across major parties, they might be correct.
As a resident of the FCT, Mr. President, I've been here for a long time, at least in the last 24 years. This is all I do. I was called to the podium while some people were called to the altar. So I have witnessed the Federal Capital Territory change under your administration and under 3 years. Nobody is attacking that. No single administration in Nigeria since 1999 that occupied Aso Rock had won election in local government in the FCT. It is only you. And this time around, when we did the election in the FCT, because of what is happening in the rural areas of the FCT and the FCT itself, when I leave your lodge and I'm going towards Asokoro, I miss my way. But those things were there. But administration after administration ignored those structures, dilapidated as they were. There was this overhead bridge that I did not know existed until you came on board. And you didn't bring somebody from APC. You brought somebody from the other party so that nobody will say that you're not carrying the country along. And by the time he finished, I'll drive to my house, I'll be shouting on my driver. I said, we are going to Asokoro. Why are you taking me through this overhead bridge? And he said, Asiwaju has changed the FCT. I said, how did he do it? He said, he did it through the other party.
Well, it's still throwing shots at, the PDP. It will interest you to know that Akpabio was also a member, used to be a member of the PDP. Now, because he's in the APC, he's throwing shots at the PDP because, Wike is apparently an APC member disguising as a PDP member.
So let me especially recognize you as the national chairman, national leader of our party, the APC, that is doing so well in Nigeria today, despite the gang up by people who want to bring insecurity. And people, imagine what people are.
He's saying they are ganging up to bring insecurity. What is the job of the president? If people are ganging up against you to bring insecurity, one of your core responsibilities is to ensure that you fish out those people and you take them out. He keeps saying people are ganging up. Is he saying the president is powerless, is clueless, somebody that has all the state apparatus under his control? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. This seems like an excuse. This seems like excusing the incompetence of the government in addressing the security situation.
They're looking for. We have serious problems. People are dying in Jos and many places. Nobody's talking about those things.
People are dying in Jos, and a lot of people are talking about it, but nothing is being done. The Jos massacre, the president went there. He couldn't even get to the location. He decided to stay at the airport and told them they don't have power, that he has to leave immediately. That's how insensitive the government has been to the plight of people being killed across Nigeria.
But you see, some people will sit on television and they are talking about a tweet that the tweet says victory is sure and therefore somebody should resign.
Nigerians have the right to call out the INEC chairman. If there is a revelation, if there's an alleged revelation that the INEC chairman is partisan, it is imperative that Nigerians call that out. How do you expect a partisan umpire to ensure that there is a free and fair election? It doesn't make any sense.
Resign because you said victory is sure. Was somebody not going to win an election? He did not mention a name. He didn't mention the party, nothing. And the man said, I'm not even the one. They have cloned my line. They have opened Snapchat for me. And there's nothing they have not done on Facebook. I have over 20-something Facebook accounts. And I'm not the one.
He's trying to absorb the INEC chairman of being partisan based on the alleged tweet. He's saying that the chairman has come out to say that he's not the owner of the account. However, as I said earlier, from findings based on, as alleged by some people, based on their finding on X, it seems this account was created in 2022, and he has been tweeting in support of the president. There were some particular, as alleged, there were some particular tweets that he was attacking the supporters of Peter Obi. He was also saying victory is sure, responding to the national youth leader of the APC. I think Akpabio is being economical with the truth.
But they are loading what they want to load. And yet they said resign. Why are they now going into something so insignificant, very close to primaries? One
Well, he's saying it's insignificant. Well, it's very significant because this person will oversee the election. How are you sure that this person is not already compromised when there are alleged tweets of him supporting the president? He's saying this is coming 1 month to primaries. But if the INEC did not delete the names of the leadership of the APC, of the ADC from their portal, you know, the controversy will not be this large. How do you delete the names of the leadership of the ADC when some court judgment has already came to say that in party dispute is an internal issue and it doesn't concern, the court. So INEC itself deleted the names of the leadership of the ADC 1 month to primaries. So what's Akpabio trying to say?
month to primaries. It's because they realize that they've not been able to put their houses in order.
I don't think that's right. We've seen a whole lot of defections. We've seen people moving. We've seen people cross-carpeting. The likes of Peter Obi, Aregbesola, Kwankwaso, and the rest of them. They left their previous party to move to the ADC. The likes of Atiku also left his previous party, also left the PDP to move to the ADC. That shows that the opposition are regrouping and they are trying to, make themselves stronger to be able to challenge the APC. So I don't think what Akpabio is alluding to is very correct.
Somebody will go and get up to 6 million votes in an election through a political party and yet abandon that political party and abandon the 6 million votes.
And well, I think Akpabio is being hypocritical here. He himself was a member of the PDP before. Before he switched place, he switched to APC because he knew under APC he would be able to become the speaker. As a PDP member, it was not visible for him. It was not feasible for him to become a speaker. That is the reason why he decamped to the APC. So if you are criticizing somebody for decamping from a previous party that he was and that he got a whole lot of votes on, then you should be criticizing yourself too.
And start shopping for a new political party that he will have to go and start building up. I'm not talking about Soludo, I'm talking about somebody around his area. So, Mr. President, I want to assure you, and some people say that even now, that some embassies are closing down. Not many embassies are closing down. Many of the embassies are afraid of repercussion from their foes. For instance, I can say that America is a bit worried about the bomb blast from Iran.
Well, that's not true. The American embassy issued a security alert in terms of closing down, warning their citizens not to travel to Nigeria, and also closing down their embassy because of the security risk in Nigeria. People are being attacked every day. People are being kidnapped every day, and the security situation is not being addressed. So I think Akpabio is just making light of the security situation, and it's a bit disappointing.
And so across the world, they have to reduce their staff in case Iran decides to attack their embassies. When people are thinking, oh, Nigerians' embassies are closing because election is coming. It's not because election is coming. Election will come and go, and God will protect you. God will.
Well, in as much as yes, God is the ultimate protector, as the government has to do their part. What is government doing to address security situation? How many people have died in the last 3 years? How many people have died in the last 6 months? In the last 7 months, we've lost 3 high-ranking military officials. That shows that the country is not secure. If you are losing brigadier generals, if you are losing brigadier generals with reckless abandon, it's an indication that the security architecture has failed.
Protect Nigeria. Nigeria will outlive this election. Look at what they are doing now. Is this going to be taken away when you go back to Bodyland? It's going to remain here for the benefit of future generations of Nigerians. So I'm very proud of what I'm seeing here.
And you've heard what the Senate President has to say. He has said a whole lot of things, and I think I disagree with majority of the things he said. He's giving accolade to the President for the good job he has done. I don't think the President has done, if you assess how the President has performed so far, I don't think he has performed excellently well. There's a inflation report in March, that shows that inflation stands at over 15% at the moment. Insecurity situation is getting worse by the day. Power is another issue. There is no power. The power generation has slowed down. Even the presidency, even Aso Rock, is off the national grid. There is a whole lot of consistency in failure, and I don't think Akpabio is being honest. So um, please comment, share your opinion, subscribe, like, and turn on the notification button, and let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. See you.